Welcome to this practice. We're going to be exploring the internal quality of mind and heart that we can bring to our experiences in the body, to our sensations, our emotions, whatever images come up during yoga practice. And this quality I'm going to refer to as the quality of loving attention. Can we bring loving attention to whatever is arising without judging it, coercing it, or forcing it to be different? Without resisting it or reacting it or judging ourselves because of it? Can we bring this quality of loving attention to it? You'll hear me talk about this in the video, in the practice, and particularly at the end of the practice. But I want to give you a little heads up right now so you can kind of have this in the back of your mind reflecting on it. The life skill of accepting what is, bringing that loving attention to the present moment, is not passive. It can seem passive. It can seem too subtle. It can seem too simple. It can seem weak or feeble. But actually, it's a very strong life skill because it's giving us the opportunity to reduce the heavily conditioned mind pattern that we have of reacting against what is arising, trying to change what's arising, thinking that we have to coerce it or force it in some way. So we're greatly reducing mental habits that have a negative effect on our lives, while we're increasing this beautiful skill of loving attention. So don't think of it too much as a passive thing that you're doing. You are disentangling from the mumbo jumbo. And that might feel like it's passive because you're going to loosen your grip on something. You're kind of giving up on that, but you're also cultivating something beautiful and worthwhile. Okay, let's go to class. Let's use the yoga practice to cultivate the quality of loving attention that we can then give to whatever information our body wants to provide to us. Let's go ahead and rest the hands in the lap. You're welcome to close your eyes. And start welcoming yourself into the present, as if you had dropped a stone into a pond. And as the stone is going down, the first thing that we see is circles on the water at the surface, ripples moving until they evaporate on the surface of the water. But imagine your mind going down, not staying entranced by the ripples, rather, but going down with the stone, to drop down into the body, into your breath, into the here and now. When we have a regular practice of dropping in, what happens with the invitation that we give ourselves to drop in is that we pick up on myriad previous times of doing that, perhaps weeks or months or decades of dropping in. So there's a kind of expediting where you can go more quickly in and down. But the same is true if we have the experience repeated over a long period of time, the experience of escalating up and out, or driving forward and out, or backing away and retreating. So those also have longevity to them in the nervous system. So as you're practicing dropping in, you can be explicit with yourself that as the stone drops through the surface of the water and goes down into the pond, you are not right now following the sounds of the birds in the sky, the traffic beyond the pond. We're not traveling into the future nor to the past, but dropping in to the present moment. When that dropping in, now imagine your mind just going down through the layers of the body, down from the head, past your throat, Just checking in any tension in the neck or the throat region that you'd like to release. You can even try swallowing or yawning to let that go. And dropping down through the heart and checking in there. Anything that the heart is holding or would like to release. Anything your heart would like you to know about. And then dropping down in the region of the diaphragm, which is a place where our body knows deeply how to breathe us, and yet can also become compromised by our reactions to stress or tension. When you check in with the diaphragm, just check and see there anything you want to let go of, anything your diaphragm needs from you right now. And then take that further down to the stomach, the organ of the stomach. Just checking in there. What might be needed, what wants to be released. And then going down into kind of the underworld of the gut, anything here that your body needs to release in terms of tension or the habit of tension, or anything your body wants to gift you with in terms of intuition or a kind of inner knowing. Or perhaps there's emotions you've been holding in this underworld and they're asking for your attention. And right now we're simply granting attention by noticing. We're not trying to resolve or be a detective about anything. Let's go a little further down into the lowest part of the pelvic basin, so pelvic floor, the organs of procreation, the region of elimination, sitting bones, tailbone, pubic bone. And then take that scan also and go down through your legs, so thighs, hips and thighs, knees and shins and calves, ankles, feet, heels, and toes. And then you can picture yourself like the stone that has made it to the bottom of the pond and is resting with such contentment. You may have sensed some hot spots in that body scan along the way. You might have gotten some blips of information from your body. Let's invite all of that to be valid and worthy of our attention, but let's use the yoga practice to cultivate the quality of loving attention that we can then give to whatever information our body wants to provide to us. So specifically during the yoga practice, we're not going to be dissecting emotions or sensations. We're not going to be interpreting them either as good or bad, but having the experience of cultivating loving attention moment to moment so that we have that quality to gift to ourselves, not only during yoga, but then in day-to-day life when something needs our loving attention. So in this practice today, I'd like us to cultivate moment to moment as best as we can, loving attention for whatever is present in us. And that means that we're specifically slightly less interested in the stuff that's coming and going, the stuff that's going by, like the ripples on the surface of the water. And we're more deeply interested in what quality of mind and heart can I bring to that stuff? And why is it that the physical practice of yoga makes me more capable of loving attention? Why does that happen? Right? Partly that is the release of physical tension in the body, but it's also the cultivation of the kind of attention that we bring, mindful, moment-to-moment loving attention, paired with the breath, almost like you're infusing that into your body. You're giving yourself like an IV infusion of this quality of attention. So do your best to provide that kind of attention to yourself, regardless of what is occurring. And of course, stay curious about your experience along the way. We'll use 2 chairs today, and I'm going to set them up to face each other. So if you'll set yours up also to face each other. And you'll notice that one of my chairs has padding and one chair doesn't have padding. So the solution for the chair that has no padding is to provide padding for that chair, like this. Both of my chairs squeak, so you'll have a chance to hear the squeak of the chairs. Maybe you'll also hear me squeaking a little bit. So as you take a seat facing the chair in front of you, place your feet as wide as the feet of that chair in front of you. So you've got a bit of a tripod base right here. And then walk your hands out to the second chair and walk them up to the upper back of the second chair. Your chairs can be as close to each other as you need them to be. If your chair is close to your feet, put them wider on the outside edges of the toes of the second chair. And as you're reaching for the upper back of the second chair, lengthen your hips back towards your sitting bones. Stabilize your arms and shoulders. And then allow your breathing to gently deepen down into the pelvic basin, into the back of your waist and the sides of your waist. And as possible, bring the breath up into your heart, your shoulder blades, and even your collarbones. When you exhale, gently tone the lower belly, starting at the base of the belly and moving the breath out through the nose. At the end of the exhale, make a smooth transition into your next inhalation. Now, possibly you're noticing that you have to slow down your breathing from daily life, whatever your daily life pace happens to be. You might also be noticing that the breath, rather than starting in the chest, is inspired to start in the pelvic basin or the lower belly. We'll do 3 more breath cycles. Notice the quality of your relationship to the breath. It should be free from coercion or force or pressure. And perhaps you could say filled with appreciation or curiosity, or even just simply respect. And then walk your hands down to the seat of the chair that's in front of you, and placing your hands there. If the padding is comfortable for your wrists, go ahead and stay with that. If you prefer to hold the firmness of the chair and you've padded it with a blanket, then go underneath the blanket. And on the exhale, I'd like you to round your spine into cat pose. And on the inhale, curl your spine forward. I should say uncurl the spine forward. And then curve up with your heart, open your throat. It's like cow pose. So exhale to cat pose. Inhale to cow pose. And see if you can synchronize the movement of your breath with your body. And I would recommend that you begin the inhale and the exhale in the pelvis. And also begin the movement of the spine in your pelvis, whether you're coming forward and opening or moving back and curling in. And we'll do it one more time. So inhale forward to your cow pose spine. That's the chest opening, heart opening spine. And exhale once more into your cat pose spine. Kind of a rounded inward and downward spine. And then walk your hands back to your knees and come to sitting upright And notice what happens to your mind if you can even picture it like dropping down and down, like the stone going to the bottom of the pond. And we're going to walk the hands back out to the upper back of the chair again. This time we're going to put one hand on top of the other. So when you first walk forward, go ahead and hold the upper back of the chair as you did last time. And then I'm going to ask you to put your left hand on top of your right hand. So you've got both hands on one corner of the chair. Relax the weight of your head. And what you might notice is that the left side of the waist is going to be a little bit longer than the right side. So draw the left hip back. And focus the breath on expanding the left hemisphere of the torso. And as you go inside and you notice sensations, or maybe even emotions or thoughts or images, try to treat each one as a welcomed guest, as Rumi said in one of his poems. So each thing that arises, we give it acknowledgement, but without reaction, without creating a narrative about what we're noticing. That will also allow us to be open to whatever changes occur in sensations. Let's walk over to the other side. So place your left hand on its corner of the chair. Walk your right hand out over your left hand. Draw the right hip back and lengthen into your right sideways. Notice when you're responding to a sensation, a thought, or an image, how do you respond? And is it possible that your mind can stay evenly curious and open to whatever is coming? And evenly open and curious towards whatever is departing. Let's put both hands on their own corners of the chair. And then walk your hands down to the chair seat once again and back to your knees and rise up to sitting. Okay. As you are facing in your chair towards the second chair, now turn to your right in the chair that you're sitting in. We do want the second chair to be close enough and also far enough. So close enough that it's going to be stable, but far enough that you have a little reach to give to your body. Let's hold the upper back of the chair you're sitting in. Place this hand, I would say, on the non-slippery part of the other chair. Okay, so I put it under my blanket for that reason. Okay, so with full security, a full sense of strength from your shoulder to your hand, now inhale, raise your right arm. And as you side bend to your left, press your left hand down into the chair so that you are amplifying this openness on the right side of the torso. We're also amplifying the squeeze on the left side. So let's think of like inhale and this side opens. And exhale for tone across the lower belly, squeezing the breath out. So the next inhale has a warm welcome, a spacious welcome to come in. And see if you can, again, bring attention to your experience where each thing is warmly welcomed. And do one more inhale while you stretch your right arm long overhead. And then exhale and take only your right hand back to the upper back of the other chair. Now, as you're holding each of these, allow your head to get heavy on the left side. You may be feeling the right side of your neck. Give yourself support from both arms. Take a deep breath in. On the exhale, release any unnecessary tension in the right side of your neck. And then exhale and tone your lower belly and use your right hand to bring your torso back up to center. And pause to notice again, where is your mind? What is the quality of your mind? And we're going to switch to the other chair. And you, of course, could turn in the chair that you're sitting in, but if I turn in the chair I was just sitting in, I'll have my back to you. So you could switch chairs if you want to. So take your upper back of the chair with your left hand, and then your right hand to the other chair. Make sure it's stable. You can press on it. It's not going to move. And as you straighten and strengthen your right arm, already you're going to have this shift of the rib cage to your left. And then inhale, take the left arm overhead. Enjoy the fullness of the breath, whatever is possible for you. And the completion of the exhale, and the opportunity for the exhale to be a time when you're sending something out, right? The exhale is a breath of releasing. So you could ask, what are you letting go of? What is your body willing to let go of? What are you creating space for inside? Notice the pace of your breath, and if it's slowing down relative to the pace of daily life breathing, that would be a good sign. And as you next exhale, bring only your left hand back to the upper back of the chair, and you might notice the right side of your neck, left side of your neck, excuse me, this side. So drop your right ear down towards your right shoulder. In whatever way you can, you could smile at the sensations on the left side of your neck. Do one more breath in, please. And then exhale, use your lower belly and your left hand to pull yourself back up to sitting. Okay. And I'm going to switch back to my other chair. Okay. So you had an experience there of side bending, which is opening the diaphragm and also releasing the scalene muscles and some of the other muscles that get involved in breathing patterns when you're stressed. So you want to open the diaphragm and relieve other muscles from feeling overly responsible for your breathing. And they tend to take over when stress hits. So you may be sensing that your stress response is being dissipated slowly as we do the practice. Now turn towards your second chair again and take a wide stance. So your feet can be much wider than the chair in front of you and wider than the chair that you're sitting on. And then as you come forward, place your hands on this chair seat. And if that's the depth that your body goes to, that is appropriate for you. Or you can place your forearms on this chair seat. Or for some people, you may want to cross your forearms and make a pillow for your head. And others might put the forehead on the chair seat and bring the hands down to the floor or to the toes of the chair that is the second chair. Whatever choice you make, let the torso come forward graciously and provide support. So that could be your hands on the chair seat, could be your elbows, could be your forearms, could be your forehead. Let's take a deep breath and notice the back hemisphere of the body, especially the kidneys, the back of the diaphragm, the back of the waist. Then exhale, and consider exhaling relatively completely. So you're ushering out whatever your body is willing to let go of right now. Now, in this wider seat, you might also be feeling your inner thighs, or even for some of you, you'll feel your hamstrings or your lower back stretching. Let's take another breath in here and acknowledge all the sensations that your body is experiencing and bring a kind of equal warmth and curiosity to those sensations. If you don't now have your hands on the chair seat, go ahead and place them there once again and press up to a starting position, something like this. Okay. Now we're going to take the left hand across to the right leg on the chair and place your right hand on your knee and begin twisting to your right. So press your right hand down. And as you encourage this twist, try to keep both hips centered and grounded. Take your gaze inside so you're not torquing the neck to look at anything specific. Invite the breath to be three-dimensional. So it's going to be the back of your body, the sides of your torso, even the front of the heart can be included. With your right hand during the exhale, press firmly down against your right knee. So you're encouraging the twist to strengthen the abdominal region during the exhale. Think of it like squeezing a sponge to squeeze out excess water. We're giving a squeeze on the exhale to release whatever your body is willing to let go of. And then come back to center. Let's place both hands on the chair seat. Now, we're going to place the left hand on the left knee, reach your right hand across to the chair leg on the left side of the chair. And as you twist to your left, encourage the twist to include your lower belly while your hips are stable. Include your back waist and your spine and your heart. But close the eyes and don't strain with your eyes to make the twist go somewhere beyond what your spine can actually do. As you breathe in, as you breathe out, slow and steady. Make it spacious on the inhale and strong or determined on the exhale. And then walk both hands back to the seat of the chair so your pose is symmetrical. Reach out to the upper back of the chair once more. Enjoy a deep breath in. And exhale completely. Walk your hands to the chair seat and to your knees and come back up to sitting. Check again and see what is the quality of your mind. So gazing in, what's happening now with your mind and with your body. Okay, now let's place the right foot over the chair seat in front, like this. However close you need that chair to be to support you is fine. And what can happen is when you put your right leg up on the chair, you are suddenly aware of the back of your leg, and the sensations might be too strong to stretch into. In that case, stack a couple of blankets on the chair you're sitting on, so your hips are going to be higher. You make the hips higher, and then the angle of your leg, instead of being, let's say 90, like this, the angle is going to be a little bit less strong. So for some of you, that's going to be really important so that you can keep greeting these sensations lovingly. If you don't have anything to sit on, what you can do is bend your knee so that you're relieving a part of the hamstring from feeling overstretched. And then let's inhale, raise up through the crown of the skull. And exhale to come forward, whatever amount is appropriate for you. And as you come forward, if it's very little, that is totally fine. You can place your hands on your knee or your thigh or on the chair seat. If you're someone who comes forward quite a bit and you have the flexibility for it and it's comfortable for your body, you could put your hands over the upper back of the chair. And whatever you've chosen in terms of the physical appearance of the pose from the outside eye, Check now that on the inside, you can bring this quality of warm welcome, curiosity to the sensations, to your breath, your body, your thoughts, your images. And if you're unable to bring that kind of warm welcome or curiosity because things are too intense, try backing off on the dial in the pose. So pull the volume knob down a little bit, or back off physically from the pose to the place where you can sense becomes a little more breathable, a little more spacious. We'll do 3 breath cycles now. Each one, feel the inhale like you're filling up a hot air balloon. And on the exhale, treat the exhale like a long sigh, releasing any unnecessary tension. And then walk your hands to the seat of the chair, or if they're on your knee, walk your hands back to your hips. And for everyone, once you get upright, place your right foot back on the floor and notice how your body feels right to left. And then place your left foot out on the chair in front of you, and you can again decide that you need to sit up on a couple of blankets, or that it's better for you to bend your knee to make that more comfortable for your hamstrings or for your calf muscle. And then inhale, lengthen up through the top of your head, and as you exhale, come out over your left leg. Whatever amount is appropriate for you. Some of you will reach to the upper back of the second chair. Some of you will still be mostly upright. Your hands can be on your left knee. As you bow your head gently towards your leg, listen for the sensations that are asking for your attention. And a reminder that there's nothing asking for analysis right now. We're not analyzing anything. Listen inside for the kind of attention that can be warm, open, patient. And we'll do 3 stronger breath cycles where you're deliberately inhaling as if filling up a hot air balloon, and deliberately exhaling to squeeze the breath out and allowing anything that wants to go, anything that's ready to disembark from your mind or your body, can go with the exhale. And then walk your hands to the chair seat, or if they're on your knee, walk your hands simply back to your hips. For everyone, find your way back to having 2 feet flat on the floor. And as you come to sitting upright, pretend you're the stone again coming down through the pond. And do a gentle scan of your body, face and throat and heart, diaphragm, stomach, the organs of the gut, pelvic basin, the organs of elimination and procreation, hips and thighs, knees and shins, ankles and feet. And then turn to the right side of your chair again. So as you turn to the right, we're going to be putting the left leg up on this chair. So if you were sitting on a blanket for the last position, You'll probably need that for this position. Likewise, if you sit up on a blanket, by the way, let's imagine that you had shorter legs. So when you get up on that blanket, you feel like the floor is too far away. You can take a block and place it under your foot. So if you're elevating your hips, let's say that you have a blanket under, you might want to elevate your foot as well, especially for this one. If you haven't elevated, it's not necessary to elevate your foot. You could try it if you wanted to explore it. Okay, now we have the left leg out on the chair. It's okay if your knee needs to be bent, but try to have your knee pointing straight up at the ceiling. Hold the upper back of this chair with your right hand and begin to walk the left hand out. You may hold the chair seat. You may barely reach the chair seat. In that case, it should be closer to you. But you might be somebody who holds the heel of your foot, or someone who reaches the upper back of the chair that's in front of you. So I'll bring this one closer. You know, in all this yoga, I haven't gotten longer arms. There's only so much change that yoga can make in the physical body, and longer arms, that was not one of them. Okay, so wherever you are, with whatever flexibility you have, now sweep the right arm past your right ear. Open the right side of your waist so it is appropriate if it's a little bit curved right here. Make a little rotation of your chest towards the ceiling. So there is a spinal twist towards the sky. And breathe in one more time. And with your exhale, let's take the right hand and hold the upper back of the chair. Drop the left arm and release the weight of your head down to your left. So there's the right side of the neck again. For some of you, that might be a strong stretch. Let's take a deep breath in. And then exhale and come upright. Okay, and place your left foot back on the floor. Let's change to the other chair. I caused some mayhem here. A little yoga remodeling. Okay, so sit on the other chair. You can take your right foot out on this chair. There you go. And as you sit upright, again, elevate your seat if you need to, elevate your foot if you need to. And then hold the upper back of this chair with your left hand. Walk your right hand out, perhaps as far as you go as just the seat of the chair right here. Or you've got your knee bent, and as far as you can go is your hand on your knee. So taking an honest approach and a loving approach with your body. You may be somebody who holds the upper back of the second chair. You reach your left arm overhead. As you're breathing in and breathing out, think of the inhale expanding the left hemisphere of the torso. And the exhale is really a chance to tone the lower belly. Every exhale is an opportunity to give some strength to the way the exhale departs during yoga practice. You're toning the lower abdomen. You're also going to tone the pelvic floor when you do that. But don't add any tension or force or coercion to the exhale. It's a purposeful exhale, but without coercion. And then take the left arm and hold the upper back of the chair. Release your right arm, release your head. You may feel the left side of your neck. And then exhale and come upright. And take a seat like your version of mountain pose in a chair class, which is take a seat with your feet comfortably on the floor, hand in your lap. Close your eyes. And then you're welcome to open your eyes. So now we're going to do Shavasana practice. And for some of my students in my chair yoga program at my yoga studio, which I had for 21 years, for some of my students, they could not go to the floor for Shavasana. So they did Shavasana using the 2 chairs. The way that they would do that was the chair they were sitting in was against a wall. And we had blank walls, as yoga studios do. The wall spot is blank because you use it for yoga practice. But we would put a bolster at the back of them, at the hips and the spine and then the head. So they would lean back against their bolster like this. So just picture that there's a bolster behind me. And then we would have their legs go to the second chair and they would basically have a restful mode to be there. So in class today, we're going to go down to the floor, and a method for getting down to the floor that you might want to try on is to have padding for your knees, and then use your hands on the 2 chairs, so that as you're coming down, you're able to lower the knees really gently and slowly, particularly for anybody for whom your knees are sensitive. Then this chair, you're going to spin it out of the way. Not needed, so I'm going to put it over there. And we'll take this same blanket, fold it in half once, place it near the chair that you're going to elevate your legs on. Roll onto your back. And then place your shins up on the chair that you were just sitting in. Why did we fold this blanket? We're going to put it under the back of the hips. So pick up the hips. And then you can place your feet on the upper back of the second chair. So they're a little higher than your knees. Your knees are higher than your thighs, which are higher than your hips. So you get this nice lymph response that comes through, starting with your feet and ankles, and coming all the way back towards the heart. And this key place in the lymph system near the collarbones, right inside the collarbones here, in your thoracic region right there. Okay, and once you get that set, then turn your palms face up. You're welcome to close your eyes. And let's picture yourself now as the stone that has come down to the bottom of the pond and is very still. And for the time being, uninterested in whatever mayhem is happening above the surface of the water. But this is a time of taking refuge or having inner peace. What you might observe during Shavasana is that the breath becomes more and more relaxed and sometimes imperceptible. If you were to focus on anything in the physical body during this Shavasana, I would say focus on releasing tension in the abdomen. you release any holding in the pelvis or the belly, there's a kind of reconciliation that goes on inside your body intelligence. You don't have to think about it. You don't have to intellectualize it. There's nothing you need to do to make it happen. But you can simply give permission, like granting permission for tension to be resolved. Mind and your body to go a little deeper now in relaxation. bring your knees towards the front edge of the chair. And roll down to your right side, unless you have to go to your left, as in my circumstance. Take a seat. You can either sit on the floor where you are, or you can sit back in your chair if you prefer. You could sit cross-legged. You could also sit in Sukhasana. Whatever choice you make, and sit upright and let your mind get recalibrated. And ask yourself if it might be possible then to take this inner attitude of kind attention, moment-to-moment welcome to your experience. Where might this carry into your daily life? Remind yourself that welcoming your experiences may at first seem like a passive life skill, like we're just welcoming our experiences. At the same time that we welcome an experience or bring curiosity to it, we are resisting the habit of rejecting our experience. We are toning down the habit of reacting against our experience or immediately going to judgment or coercion or dislike of our experience. So we're reducing a great amount of activity in the limbic brain and increasing a capacity we have in the neocortex. So though it might seem like a passive life skill, it's actually an active life skill. So raise your hands to your heart. Thank you for making your efforts and for bringing your whole self to practice today. I hope it's been beneficial to you. Namaste. Thank you very much for sharing your practice with me and with the community. I hope this has been helpful to you. As always, don't forget to click the like button if the practice benefited you, and leave me some questions and comments down below the video. I would love to hear from you. Okay, and don't forget to subscribe. Have a wonderful, wonderful day. Thank you.